Hi, I'm here today talking to Tallulah. Here's Tallulah. Hi, Tallulah.
Hi.
I wonder if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Tallulah Holmes. I'm 11 years old and I'm going to start secondary school in September this year. And I love cats. I have 3 cats. Well, 2 cats and 1 kitten. And I love them very much.
That's very cute. I think I just saw your cat before we started recording. Would you recommend to your friends Educare Small School? Would you recommend the school to them?
Yes, I would. And I have to many of my friends.
What would you say about it to recommend it to them?
Well, I would say that it's really fun and it's a small school, so you get more attention and you get more help because they're smaller classes, smaller year groups, smaller school in general, and the teachers are all really nice and we have no homework.
That seems a big feature, the no homework. Pretty much everybody's mentioned that so far.
Yeah, I've told Zoe about the school like maybe 1,000 times or something, and she every time she says, "I wish I could go to your school." Even if she couldn't, even if her parents said yes, because she's in secondary school now. But like she says, I'm really lucky to go to Educare, and I think so too.
That's great. That's great. What does it feel like to be a part of a small school?
It's nice because you get more attention and you can, instead of making loads of friends who are just like mild friends, you can make some really, really good friends and develop bonds, and and it's and it's nice to be in like a small group because you can work with your friends for some things and it's easy to put like groups together and stuff, and you get a lot more help if you
You
get
love help. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
stuck because like in some schools there's so many kids that they can't help everyone.
Is there anything that happens at Educare that you feel makes a difference to your life outside of the school, at home or wherever?
Well, there's movement circle and quiet time and Alexander technique in general, which like it's not just to be used inside school, it's for everyday life to try and help you. And I'm probably much better off than I would be if I hadn't had an Alexander technique.
Seeing as you mention that now, can you be a little more specific, and if you can, and tell me maybe in what ways that you found these things helpful?
Well, it's kind of mainly the ready list because it helps me to stop and, well, everything it says on the list: stop, see, breathe, be soft and tall. And instead of rushing head on into stuff, I can take a minute and really think about it. And it makes me a lot more calm and relaxed doing quiet time. And yeah, stop, see, breathe, soft and tall, and then go.
Tallulah, a lot of people would be wondering what movement circle is and what it's for. I wonder if you could give us just a sort of description of it, an explanation of it, like you might do to one of your friends who didn't know anything about it.
Okay, so basically movement circle is when we get our body working and get our blood flowing to get us ready and energized for the rest of the day. We do different movements to get us ready, like stretches and focusing on our breathing.
So also, quiet time is another thing that we do at Educare. And again, if you had to explain that to someone who knew nothing about the school, how would you explain it? What would you say it was and what it's for?
Well, it's to give our bodies a rest after having, well, it would normally be to give us to give our bodies a rest after having break time and lunch, and to calm us and center us. And we lie on the floor in first position, which is with our arms like this and our legs crossed, and second position, which is with our hands like this and our feet flat on the floor. And it kind of links up your body.
My next question is also about quiet time. Sometimes you are a helper at quiet time. Sometimes I ask people to help me, and sometimes it's you. Could you explain to people a little bit what that's all about? Why are the helpers, and what are the helpers doing?
Well, the helpers are there. The helpers get up and walk around the hall and put hands on people. They put their hands on their shoulders and on their heads to I'm not exactly entirely sure why or what it's for, but I think it's to kind of help people be still and center them. And different people are every Wednesday when you come in. So you choose 2 helpers to help you to do that, and it's different people every week. And they have to learn with you how to do it properly.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's a nice explanation. So, Tallulah, there's another thing we do which involves these things. Do you recognize this picture?
Yep, it's a lazy labyrinth.
And I'm just wondering if you can give your explanation that you might give to someone who, again, knows nothing about what we do at school, what this is all about, and what we use it for.
Okay, so we use a lazy labyrinth to kind of focus our minds. I think it kind of does the same thing as the ready list. It focuses us and makes us concentrate. And basically, you trace the lazy 8. You trace the lazy 8 first, go up and left, and then you continue going round. And then you use both hands and start at the entrance of the labyrinth, and you go through to the middle, and then you come out, and it focuses you and helps you to concentrate.
Okay. Actually, just an interesting question is, do you feel that when you do it? It's okay if you don't, but I'm just curious. Do you feel it helps you to focus?
I feel that it does. I think it does if we're about, it's kind of strange. If it does, if we're about to go into doing something on a worksheet, but if we're about to listen to Miriam, then it doesn't really do anything different. I don't know why. Because I think it's because it's a bit like writing with your fingers, going over the labyrinth and the lazy 8. So I think it helps me focus on that kind of thing.
Oh, that's actually very interesting, because I'd not actually really thought about that before. That it's it works better with specific things like actually to do with writing and stuff rather than listening activities. That's really interesting feedback. Thank you. What do you think could make Educare a better school than it is now? How would you change it to make it better?
Do you mean now in the lockdown, or like it was before the lockdown?
Okay, let's imagine. I mean, hopefully lockdown is like a really temporary situation. Although I am interested to hear what you'd say about that as well. But let's start with just generally the school, as it normally is and will be again, we hope soon. Yeah, is there anything you would like to see to make it better?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, it's all really fun, and I enjoy everything there. I think if I had to choose something to make it better, it would probably be for in some of the lessons like art, we have quite a limited time, and I like to have more time to concentrate on what I'm doing and actually finish it. Although that might be entirely my fault because I take very long and do very detailed stuff. So that might be my fault, but yeah.
So, as soon as you mentioned lockdown, Tallulah, what do you feel could be better about what's happening at the school in this situation now?
Well, the school day feels really, really short. I'm not sure. Like, I probably wouldn't change that, but I would say that probably I would want to go in the other playground rather than in the car park one. Because what used to be the car park is now the playground that we use for our break times, because the butterflies and dolphins in kindergarten go in the original playground, and I'm not exactly sure why we can't go in there because it's free, because I'm in the afternoon group and butterflies and dolphins in kindergarten are only in the morning group. So I don't see why we can't use the original playground. There's a lot more stuff in there, like the mount and the quiet area and the metal house. So there's a lot more space.
So Tallulah, you've already told us you're 11. You're about to leave Educare, which I'm very sad about. And but I'm also pleased for you, happy for you. What would be, I don't know what school you're going to, but if you could have a magic wand and invent or create the ideal school for the future for you, what would that school be like?
Well, let's see. I mean, I'm going to the Kingston Academy, which is actually quite close to Educare. It's right next to Fernhill, I think. Yeah, and when I went to visit other schools last year, in September last year, I went to visit TKA, Teddington, and Greycourt, and I liked TKA except from one thing. I mean, there's so many corridors and doors and classrooms, and it's quite confusing. Whereas in Teddington, it's a huge open space. There's like 2 corridors in the entire building because most of it is entirely open. And the inside looks kind of like, and there's all beams going up everywhere, so it looks kind of like a tree on the inside. And I think if I could have an ideal dream school, it would probably be TKA, but inside the Teddington building. It's confusing, kind of, but
what about what's done at the school, though? You know, the activities of the school as well as the school building. But
that's the thing that I like about TKA. They have all sorts of sports activities and things, and they have art clubs, choirs, orchestras, and really good lessons. They're really fun. So yeah, because when I went, we got to see, when I went to look around the school, we went into classrooms and things, and there weren't people working in the classrooms, but they'd set up kind of things that maybe the sorts of things that they do, like stuff with microscopes in the science lab and like chemistry that you could try out for yourself and stuff like that. So yeah.
so, what do you hope you'll get from this school for the rest of your life?
I'm not exactly sure. I want to be better at science, and I want to do more chemistry and stuff like that, because I only really get to do like proper chemistry stuff that they would teach in secondary schools and universities and stuff. I've actually done some university chemistry stuff because my godfather is a science teacher and his wife is as well, so they've done loads of stuff with me, and that's really fun. But I want to actually do more science stuff.
So you're going to be a scientist of the future, eh? Maybe we should say. So Tallulah, what do you think that you will remember from Educare for the rest of your life?
I'm not sure what I will remember, but I know what I want to remember. I want to remember definitely the ready list and stuff that you've done, like helpers stuff, like hands-on stuff that you've done with me, because like that really helps in Educare, and I don't see why it can't help when I'm in secondary school or university when I'm grown up.
So Tallulah, I just want to thank you really from the bottom of my heart for giving this interview with me today, and also for being such a wonderful Educare pupil. I've known you since kindergarten and seen you come up through the school and blossom into what you are now, which is a young lady ready to fly the nest and start a new life at secondary school. So thanks very much, and goodbye.
Bye.